Hello, in this video I'm going to show us how to create quizzes in Moodle. Specifically, we want to look at multiple choice questions or MCQs. What is the procedure like? 1. We'll prepare our questions. 2. These questions you're going to bring them onto the portal through the question bank. So on the portal, we'll go to the question bank and create a category. And number 3, we'll import our MCQs or our questions, we'll import them into the category. 4, we'll set up the quiz activity, and finally number 5, we'll deploy the quiz. This is a sample questions, matters preparation. How many legs does a hen have? 3, 4, 2, or none. That is A, B, C, and D respectively. The answer is C, 2. So right below it, I will denote it as such. Answer, full colon, single space, C. You want to be sure that your options A, B, C, D, as many as, of course it can be A, B, C, D, it could be true, false, A, B, it could be A to E to G, as many as, but you want to be sure that the indication or how they're labeled is as such, how they're numbered is as such, in caps, and right below it you denote the answer, of course in caps, and the word answer, and C is separated with a full colon and a single space. A few notes to have in mind. 1, we are going to save our work in plain text format. 2, you will indicate the answer in caps. And then for shuffling purposes, do not number your questions. And finally, number 4, just so you can minimize errors when importing, because there are scenarios which occur when you are importing your questions onto the portal, the system might not be able to recognize what is the answer, which are the options. So then, in such cases, most of the time, we are encouraged to avoid characters such as hashes, asterisks, and so on. So, in cases where you will not have answer denoted as such, chances are you're going to get an error. Or cases where you have punctuations as varied as they are, you're also likely to get errors. So, how do we, after building up our questions and saving them in plain text format, next we want to go to the question bank and build up a store or a repository where we're going to bring in these questions. So, you look for the administration block. Basically, the portal has 2 key blocks. There's the navigation block and the administration block. Under the administration block, right below, you will find question bank. You click on it, and you will find question bank. You want to click on question bank, and then under parent category, which you'll have identified, you want to go ahead and create a category. In our case, for our example purposes, let's call it quiz 7. Once I've done that, I will do my naming, and I will save category. Next is importing questions. So from question bank, I will click on import. We shall see this in a minute. Click on import, and then I will identify my MCQs as icon format. This is the format which portal recognizes for it to do the administration. So icon format. Next option is general. Under general, you want to select the category you just created. In our case, that would be quiz 7. Thereafter, you choose a file, of course, from your desktop or wherever you would have saved it on a flash drive or wherever that would be. You upload the file and import. Once you do that, then we go ahead. Number 4, we set up the quiz activity. You'd go to the course homepage, click on settings, add resource, and identify a quiz. Then you will give your quiz a name. In this case, that would be quiz 7. And then I would give a description. Matters description would entail how long it would take, when it will be done, and so on. 2, we do scheduling. When is it to be done? Of course, at this point you are defining it on the portal so that it is self-regulated. When is it to be done? How much time should it take? And then the matters layout. Basically, layout has to do with how many questions are going to be viewed at one go. Supposing I'm giving a quiz of 20 questions, being as few, then it would be ideal where I can have one question at a go. The student attempts one question before they can go to the next. But in cases where I have 50 questions or so, 60 questions, one question at a time might be a little tedious. So at this point, perhaps I might define my layout as perhaps 2 questions per page or 3 per page. Number 3, question behavior has to do with feedback. In our case, by default, it will be deferred feedback. That is, the feedback comes at a certain point after attempts have been made. That could range after one single attempt per question, or it could be after a series of where the quiz is still open, or at the very tail end. Hence, review options. So by default, question behavior would be deferred, and then we go ahead and do review options. Matters to do with when exactly are we intending to give feedback. Finally, number 4, you click on activity completion, and this again you want to define as the activity is complete when the defined conditions have been met. Thereafter, you just go ahead and save. Finally, number 4, we deploy our quiz. You will go to edit quiz. This one we just set up. You click on it to take you to edit quiz. Click on edit quiz, add from question bank, and then you'll identify from the category you just created. In our case, this will be P7. Select your questions and you add them. Thereafter, determine the grades, you save, and you do a preview of the same. In a nutshell, that is how you create a quiz. From the beginning, you will prepare questions. 2, under question bank, you'll create your category. 3, import your MCQs. 4, set up activity. And 5, deploy your quiz. Now, let's go ahead now and roll up our sleeves and see how this is built.